Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning. Hi, kids. Hot tea, please.
Welcome to Mornings on Main Street. I'm your host, Stefanie Miller. Grab your hiking boots or just the tennis shoes, something warm to drink, maybe in a thermos, and take it outside and get ready to explore. Today, we share with you some areas for you to get out and hike over the winter months. We'll have that from our Tennessee traveler, Tom Adkinson. But first, let's get a check of the forecast.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather on Main Street.
Happy Tuesday. I'm Kelly Rawson in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with a check at your forecast for southern middle Tennessee. We are starting off chilly. You're going to need to layer up for the morning. We're starting off in the 20s and 30s. Eventually, though, we are going to be nice and we'll call it warm in the mid 50s for the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine for your Tuesday. We stay nice and dry with a mostly clear sky for this evening. And for tonight, as temperatures get back down into the mid 30s to start off Wednesday, cloud cover will start to increase, but we do stay dry for your Wednesday. Our next rain chance doesn't come until Thursday. Cloud cover increases with a few showers for the first half of your Thursday, but then overnight is when we are going to see that more widespread rain and thunderstorm chance. No severe weather expected, but do expect a few rumbles of thunder with some leftover moisture by your Friday. Temperatures stay in the 60s. A slight cool down heading into Saturday, but we bump right back into the 60s by the second half of the weekend.
Hello, here's the latest news and weather from Main Street Media TV. A driver, pursued by Laredo authorities and later apprehended in Alabama, crashed into a police car after a high-speed chase initiated during a welfare check at a parking lot. The Wilson County Commission overwhelmingly voted to oppose the proposed Education Savings Account school voucher program, with only one commissioner, John Gentry, dissenting to review the bill's final version. A 20-year-old has been charged with multiple misdemeanors by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency for illegally harvesting a goose in a city park in Gallatin. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee announced 11 recipients of site development grants, totaling over $17 million, aimed at enhancing infrastructure and engineering for economic development projects. JP2 and Station Camp are set to make appearances in the State Dual Wrestling Championships, following their recent victories under coaches William Simpson and Tyler Caron, respectively. For more news and weather, visit us online at mainstreetmediatn.com. Thanks for watching.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
This holiday season, the largest lantern festival in the country returns to Nashville Zoo. Experience more than 1,000 all-new, handcrafted lanterns, towering creatures, magical worlds, and a North Pole village. At the center of it all, the Smashville Ice Rink. Welcome back to Zoolumination at Nashville Zoo. Bigger, brighter, and better than ever.
Step into the Lionel retail store at Opry Mills, Nashville, and you'll be captivated by all the magic of the 123-year history of Lionel trains. Whether you're already a train enthusiast or just getting started, Lionel will energize your love for trains. NASCAR fan? Come check out your local Lionel station to learn all there is to know about model trains and die-cast NASCAR collectibles. Visit nashville.lionel.com or call 615-455-9399.
Welcome back. Well, there is no reason to wait for warm temperatures to get out and enjoy one of the beautiful hikes that you can experience here in the Middle Tennessee area. To tell us why we should head out now and what we can explore and see, we have our Tennessee traveler, Tom Adkinson, to talk to us about some trails out there that we might want to check out this winter. Hello, my friend.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Okay, you know I love our hikes. My husband and I hike all the time. Winter is a great time to go. All you have to do is layer up a little bit.
Absolutely. With a modest amount of preparation, you can get out and enjoy places all over Middle Tennessee, and they're waiting for you. And pretty certain thing is you won't have a lot of competition on the trail. You'll be able to enjoy some quiet hikes
and prime parking for sure.
I didn't think about that, but yes.
Before we talk about this picture behind me, let's talk about maybe one of your favorites that we can visit now.
One place in Middle Tennessee that I think is just really underappreciated on several levels is Stones River National Battlefield. It is, it's just 5 or 10 minutes from the courthouse square in Murfreesboro. And it's the site of one of the most significant battles in the Civil War. And it doesn't have the big reputation that places like Gettysburg and Shiloh and Antietam have. It was pivotal in the Civil War, and it's right there to be enjoyed.
A great spot. We've hit on that a couple of times. What is their attraction normally? Like, I mean, you said they don't get that many visitors?
Well, in gross numbers, they get a lot of visitors when the weather's warm. I mean, it's the Murfreesboro Greenway system connects to the trails and in the park. But wintertime is important there because that's when the battle occurred. It occurred over the end of 1862 and the start of 1863. It was fought to a certain extent because Lincoln was pushing for a Union victory somewhere so he could rally the country and push the Emancipation Proclamation. And this was where it happened. There were 2 previous battles that were not good for the Union. Mm-hmm. And this was, to a certain extent, a make or break to meet his presidential push. And the numbers are horrifying. There were 76,000 soldiers combined in both armies. Wow. And of them, 24,000 were either wounded or killed. That's 1 out of every 3 people who were fighting over the land that you can walk around today and think about what went on there more than 100 years ago. And doing it in winter puts a special feel to it. He says, man, I'm cold today, but what would it be like if I was getting shot at too?
At that time. Goodness. I tell you, Tom, not only do you share with us places to visit, but you're a historian as well.
Well, I enjoy history. I'll put it that way. I am not an academic by any means, but I do enjoy the stories that were built upon.
We do love that you share that. Okay, let's move on to the picture that we see behind me right now.
Yeah, that's a place in Macon County at Lafayette called Winding Stairs. Uh-huh. It's a cool, relatively small geologic feature. It's a city park, but it's not in the town of Lafayette. It's out away from town a little bit. And it's kind of rolling hills. And then whammo, there's a gorge there with trails and staircases that walk down to a creek that over the course of geologic time have dug down 100 feet. And it's just quiet and serene, and it's nice any time of year, but in the wintertime, the leaves are off the trees. You can really enjoy the sound of the water that's coming through. And to me, it's kind of interesting. It's not terribly far from where that water is going to run into the Cumberland River and be gone. and you finish up at a walk at Winding Stairs and go into town and find a cafe and have lunch, and you've had a really nice excursion. That's one of the great things about almost any place you go for a hike in Middle Tennessee. You can end it by going someplace and warming up and having a nice meal or a cold beer.
I like both of those. So make it a nice morning or an afternoon. Okay, your next one, and I know you have 4 that you highlight in your article, but I want to highlight the one in Hohenwald, the Devil's Backbone State National Park.
Right now, I think it is still a state natural area.
I did see that. What is the difference?
It's part of its jurisdiction within state government, but it's a designation about how it's administered and what activities are there. And my understanding, I've heard for a couple of years that Devil's Backbone is in line to move into state park status.
Okay.
So that's something we should keep an eye out for. But it's right along the Natchez Trace Parkway. It is a short hike. There are several hikes in the property, but the one that most people do is a little more than 2.5 miles. And it too goes down into a ravine or into a watershed. And there's a beautiful little waterfall there. If there's been any rainfall at all, it's pretty. And one of the things I joke about is it's fun walking down to that waterfall, but you always have to remember you have to walk back up the other side of the side of the gorge.
Yes, that gets me sometimes. You get down there like, oh, dang it.
Now I have to go back. But it's a well-marked trail. It's out and back. It walks out from the parking lot, quarter mile or half mile, and then makes a big circle and comes back to the path back to your vehicle. And I saw one trail book that referred to that not as an out and back trail, but as a lollipop trail.
I like that, a lollipop trail. Well, we can visit any of those 3. And just because I can, talk to us about what we can explore in Manchester.
Another neat historical place, it is the Old Stone Fort State Archaeological Park.
That's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful. There is a ring of stone, not a ring, but a big human-made structure, a stone wall that goes around a point of land that on one side is the Duck River and on the other side is the Little Duck River. So it appears to be very strategically located for defense. And here's a rock wall that you would think was for protection. When pioneers started coming through there and found this, they immediately called it a fort and then started speculating about who built it. They speculated that the Welsh did it back in the year 1000, or that Hernando de Soto's men did it in the 1500s. And they just ignored the idea that, well, the Native Americans who lived here were more likely to build it than anybody. Mm-hmm. And they did. And it was not for defense. It was for ceremonial or religious purposes. And like Stonehenge, mm-hmm. at the summer solstice, a gap in the wall lines up and the sunlight comes straight through to the far end of it. It's one of those cool stories in Tennessee history. Such
rich history here in this beautiful state.
And the walk there is a couple of miles in and out. It's amazing to contemplate how something like that was built. I remember reading that it was over the course of several hundred years that generations built that structure. And, we don't give credit to the indigenous populations. I don't have enough friends who could who could think of something like that to line up with the summer solstice.
You're right. You're right. I mean, what they did back then is incredible.
Yeah.
My husband's a big history channel and watching all of, the things on history, big history buff himself. So
Yeah, the Stonehenge people have nothing on us, right?
Oh, thank you for sharing all of this with us here. This is so exciting to know that we can get out and burn a little energy and explore and see some wonderful trails here in Tennessee.
I encourage everybody to do that. Every town has someplace that's close, and I just say, keep traveling.
Before I let you go, you still have your book that's out that we can still get.
Yes, ma'am.
Where do we find that now?
The easiest place is to buy it on Amazon. If you're in Nashville, Parnassus Books has it. The Bellmead Historic Site has it. The Omni Hotel downtown does.
Okay.
Hither and yon, you can find it. 100 Things to Do in Nashville Before You Die.
Are you working on a Tennessee book yet, or a Middle Tennessee book?
I haven't pitched that, but you keep encouraging me.
I do. I think this is the 5th time I've asked that. Tom, always a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Keep traveling.
We will do it. So you can watch this segment again, or you can find Tom Adkinson's article in Main Street Nashville. It is Hit the Trail this winter for some notable Tennessee hikes, his Tennessee Traveler piece. Man, we appreciate him so very much. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
You're seeing the signs too, right?
What signs?
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
He's an after-luncher. He's a football game half-timer.
All right, boys, it's time.
She's a coffee breaker. Oh, careful. I've got this. She's a whenever I can get 5 minutes-er. Whenever you like to bank, Ascend's app has you covered. Transfer funds, apply to loans, do banking stuff.
I'm a banking person-er. Is that okay?
Yep, come on in. Ascend Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back. All 4 places seem wonderful. I think my first trip will be to the Winding Staircase to check out that trail. We hope you enjoyed today's segment. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.